Lads, the Seattle Storm are screwed. They are absolutely screwed, lads.
Scandals, broken trust, and a legacy on the brink. What's happening to the Seattle Storm? Once a beacon of skill, resilience, and championship glory in the WNBA under the leadership of Sue Bird, Lauren Jackson, and more recently, Breanna Stewart. The team now finds itself under siege from within. Allegations of harassment and bullying have surfaced, casting a dark shadow over their once revered coaching staff, led by head coach Noelle Quinn. Multiple players have stepped forward, igniting an investigation that threatens not just the team's reputation, but the foundation of how professional teams manage internal conflicts.
It's not looking good for the Storm, and it's really not looking good for Nneka Ogwumike or the WNBA Players Association. So it says here, the Storm are being investigated for alleged player mistreatment.
This isn't just another sports controversy. It's a seismic shift that could echo throughout the WNBA, with stars like Nneka Ogwumike involved in leadership roles and Caitlin Clark emerging as a new force who faced her own moments of tension with the Storm. The stakes have never been higher. Will this investigation expose deeper cracks in the team's structure, or could it lead to a massive overhaul and a new beginning? And as whispers grow louder, could these revelations trigger a ripple effect that reshapes the entire league? In this video, we'll dive deep into the tumultuous unraveling of the Seattle Storm and discover why this might be the most crucial chapter of their history. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go.
I'm hearing more and more rumors that Noelle Quinn and her coaches were allegedly abusive towards staff and players alike, threatened a player, creating a hostile environment for players, caused division amongst players, called players slurs, B-word, dumb, and all kinds of other abusive terms. Here was so bad, the president take itself quit.
The Seattle Storm, long celebrated for their strength and resilience, now finds itself under an unrelenting spotlight for reasons far removed from their on-court victories. The public's attention shifted dramatically when multiple players came forward, detailing troubling experiences of alleged harassment and bullying at the hands of the coaching staff. These allegations, centered around game and practice performances, sent shockwaves through the WNBA, and triggered a formal investigation that's been active for over 2 weeks. At the center of this storm is head coach Noelle Quinn. Known for her decorated career as both a player and a coach, Quinn's reputation is now under scrutiny. The law firm leading the investigation has revealed a string of concerning claims. Players described practices where intense confrontations blurred the line between pushing for excellence and creating a toxic environment. Game day pressures reportedly became so severe that some athletes felt targeted, fostering a climate of fear and tension. This isn't just about one leader's actions. It's a reflection on how the team as a whole managed or failed to manage its internal dynamics. The investigation has opened a Pandora's box of questions. What does it say about the culture within a team when those trusted to lead are accused of fostering harm? How did management overlook or permit these issues to escalate to this point?
Can confirm with certainty the situation is not good. Also heard there are few layers to it. We're knowing the Storm organization doesn't receive a lot of scrutiny by fans and media, which contributed to years of malpractice being covered up.
The implications of this investigation are far-reaching. The WNBPA, which confirmed awareness of the investigation but withheld further comments, now faces a dilemma: supporting its players while balancing internal scrutiny. Fans and analysts alike are left to piece together what this means for the team's future and the WNBA's overall integrity. The tension within the team didn't emerge overnight. Observers have noted that the departure of franchise cornerstones like Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart left a leadership vacuum that may have contributed to unchecked conflicts. Without the stabilizing presence of these veteran leaders, younger players reportedly struggled to voice concerns, and the coaching staff's approach went largely unchallenged. The result? A team that looked solid on paper, but in reality was splintering behind the scenes.
I'm hearing certain players were also involved in this coach's clique, and that a front office executive was in the know, and that one player almost came to blows with a coach. So basically, I don't know who this person is, but the fact is that obviously this is now going to be an investigation.
Compounding the issue, reports surfaced indicating that this investigation was sparked by not just one or two, but multiple players' accounts. Such a breadth of input underscores that these were not isolated grievances, but part of a larger, more concerning trend within the team culture. As details from the investigation slowly emerge, questions are being raised about accountability. Who within the team's hierarchy knew about these issues? And why weren't they addressed sooner? The ripple effects could redefine not just how the Seattle Storm operates, but how the entire WNBA approaches player welfare. As questions pile up and anticipation builds, we have to ask, how deep do these problems go? And will the Storm find a path to redemption or face lasting damage that reshapes their legacy? If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
It says here, per multiple sources, WNBA President Nneka Nwumike was excluded from players-only meetings due to a fear of partiality to the coaching staff. Skylar Diggins led several outbursts laced with vulgarity directed at teammates.
When leadership falters, cracks begin to show, and for the Seattle Storm, those cracks turned into fault lines. The scrutiny on head coach Noelle Quinn has naturally extended to the team's leadership on and off the court. Nneka Nwumike, a powerhouse in the WNBA and the president of the Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, found herself walking a tightrope. While her dual role as a player on the Storm and head of the WNBPA seemed like a perfect fit, the dynamics quickly became complicated and, at times, contentious. Reports emerged that players grew wary of discussing their concerns freely with Nneka present. This apprehension stemmed from a perception that she might align more with the coaching staff than the players, a notion that directly contradicts the trust typically needed in a leader who represents the interests of athletes. A significant moment came when news broke about players holding meetings without Nneka Nwumike, highlighting a clear divide within the locker room. Fans interpreted this as a signal that trust in leadership had eroded even among the team's most respected figures. The optics were damaging. A team once defined by its cohesive spirit was now viewed as fractured, with its most influential players at the center of the Storm.
It's now clear why the Storm did not achieve the success it envisioned at the start of the season. Clear dysfunction and feeling of distrust led to players-only meetings to discuss alleged mistreatment without Nneka Nwumike in attendance due to fear of partiality to the coaching staff. Multiple sources confirmed to Circling Seattle Sports. Central to the allegations, the absent leadership on the court and the sidelines, which has been in question since the departure of franchise cornerstone Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart.
Skylar Diggins-Smith, another pivotal figure in the Storm's recent season, contributed her own chapter to the narrative. Known for her fiery competitiveness, Diggins-Smith's leadership style rubbed some teammates the wrong way. Accounts surfaced of outbursts during practice, laced with sharp critical language that targeted teammates and, at times, exacerbated an already tense atmosphere. This wasn't just leadership, it was divisive. While some teammates respected her passion and drive, others found it challenging to work under such pressure.
Okay, by now I'm sure you've seen Skylar Diggins assault Caitlin Clark after Indiana blew out Seattle.
Diggins-Smith's moment of infamy reached a peak during an on-court incident involving rising star Caitlin Clark. In a tense game where emotions ran high, Diggins-Smith's bump on Clark, caught on camera, sparked a firestorm on social media. Fans viewed the moment as emblematic of a veteran player unwilling to make room for the league's future stars. While Clark remained unfazed and focused, the symbolism of that encounter was hard to miss. A clash between the established guard and the next generation of talent, embodying the friction within the Storm and the broader WNBA. The season painted a portrait of a team caught in a cycle of internal and external pressures, struggling to align their ambitions with reality. The Storm needed more than just tactical adjustments. They needed a turning point. Would they find the leadership, unity, and resilience to make a comeback in the next season? Or would this chapter be remembered as the start of a downward spiral that would define the next era of the team?
In that you bump her, and then you have the audacity to complain about them? Just play ball. You didn't hear Indiana crying when they started off 1-9. They just got up off the mat and started. That's assault!
The Seattle Storm faced a daunting challenge: how to rise from a season marred by controversy, leadership struggles, and an underwhelming playoff performance. The investigation into alleged player mistreatment was still ongoing, but the organization knew that proactive measures were essential to start regaining trust. The question wasn't just about patching the team back together. It was about fundamentally rethinking their approach to leadership, culture, and performance. The offseason became a period of intense reflection and strategic planning. Analysts speculated that changes were inevitable, starting from the coaching staff. Noelle Quinn's role as head coach came under significant scrutiny, and discussions about potential replacements or a restructuring of responsibilities grew louder. Would the Storm bring in an outside voice to reinvigorate the team's dynamics? Or would they double down on existing leadership in hopes of fostering stability?
What I don't get is the Seattle coach here is the one complaining after the game, and Skylar, tears in her eyes, being like, how dare Caitlin embarrass me? How dare they beat us by 30?
The offseason promised to be pivotal, with rumors swirling about possible trades, coaching changes, and a redefined team identity. Fans were left with a mix of hope and skepticism. The Storm needed to act decisively, not only to preserve their legacy, but to set an example for the rest of the league. Would they emerge from this as a renewed contender? Or was the road to recovery steeper than they imagined?
Love it. This league doesn't know what to do with Caitlin Clark. They don't know what to do with the Indiana Fever. It's not just her, Aaliyah Boston, Mitchell, Hull. This team is coming together, and Caitlin Clark is loving it. She's laughing at you, Skylar.
While the Seattle Storm found themselves grappling with controversy and a crumbling internal structure, the Indiana Fever were emerging as a model of resilience and growth. The Fever's recent transformation was a stark contrast to the disarray in Seattle. It wasn't just their impressive gameplay that caught the league's attention. It was the way they built an organization that valued unity, strong leadership, and a clear vision for the future.
There's something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
Under the leadership of President Kelly Krauskopf, who returned to guide the franchise back to prominence, the Fever demonstrated what intentional and inclusive leadership could achieve. General Manager Amber Cox played a pivotal role, bringing innovative ideas and an unwavering commitment to building a cohesive team. These strategic appointments laid the foundation for fostering an environment where players thrived both individually and collectively. Central to their resurgence was superstar phenom Caitlin Clark, who shattered records in her debut season and infused the team with new energy. But more than her accolades, it was Clark's approach to the game and her interactions with teammates that made the Fever stand out. She embodied the balance of individual brilliance and team-first mentality, a balance that Seattle had struggled to maintain.
She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching her play.
The Fever's approach wasn't limited to star players. Their entire roster, including key contributors like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell, benefited from a culture that emphasized support, open communication, and adaptability. This was in sharp contrast to reports from the Storm, where closed-door meetings and internal friction suggested a lack of trust. Fans and analysts quickly noted the difference. The Fever were not only winning games, they were building momentum through a combination of talent and strategic leadership. They showcased what a unified team could accomplish, one that played for each other, supported by an administration that placed value on transparency and accountability. The Fever's rise highlighted what the Storm seemed to have lost: a shared vision. While Seattle wrestled with the aftermath of its challenges and contemplated significant changes, Indiana's steady ascent offered a roadmap of how intentional, player-focused management could transform a team's fortunes. The comparison wasn't lost on the rest of the WNBA. As the league watched Seattle's turbulence, it also witnessed Indiana's commitment to a brighter future. The Fever were a testament to how fostering a supportive, collaborative culture could pay dividends, not just for one season, but for the sustainability and growth of the franchise.
The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
So, as Seattle faced an uncertain path toward redemption, the Indiana Fever stood as an example of what the right leadership and vision could achieve. The league was changing, and the blueprint for success was shifting. The question was, would the Storm learn from this, or would they continue to struggle in the shadow of teams that had figured it out? The Seattle Storm's season served as a stark reminder of how swiftly a team's fortunes can change in professional sports. From internal investigations and leadership conflicts to on-court struggles and mounting public scrutiny, their journey was defined by turbulence and uncertainty. This season's lessons were undeniable. Talent alone is insufficient when a team's foundation is fractured. Trust, unity, and clear communication are essential elements that can make or break a team, especially in high-stakes environments.
We are at a point where we have an attractive group, we have a great organization, we can attract a few free agents to come here and bolster and keep us on the path that we're on.
The Indiana Fever's contrasting rise offers a compelling blueprint for what the Storm, and any WNBA team, can achieve with aligned leadership and a unified approach. The Fever's commitment to collaboration, transparency, and a player-first mentality has turned their potential into real progress. It's a case study in the power of strong organizational culture, showing that resilience and forward-thinking leadership can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The broader WNBA landscape is shifting, with increased attention on player empowerment, team culture, and the need for ethical leadership. Seattle's path forward holds implications beyond their franchise, highlighting the dual challenge of maintaining competitive success while aligning with modern expectations of respect and collaboration. How they and teams in similar predicaments navigate these complexities will set the tone for the league's next chapter.
In women's sports, it's a big opportunity to be a part of this rising tide that we're all experiencing. Everybody in this company's all in. Everybody in this city's all in.
The next season will be a litmus test for Seattle's ability to adapt and grow. Their willingness to confront their internal issues and implement meaningful change will determine if they can rise from the turmoil stronger than before. For the league, this journey serves as a critical example of the importance of cohesive leadership and transparent practices. As we look forward, keep a watchful eye on Seattle. Will they seize this opportunity to redefine themselves, inspired by the examples set by teams like the Indiana Fever, or will their efforts fall short? One thing is certain: the WNBA is watching, the fans are watching, and the Storm's next steps will be remembered for seasons to come. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.